Responsible investment is a journey, and our aim is to be at the forefront of institutional responsible investment. That means continually keeping our policies updated and refreshed, taking on board new issues that gain new prominence, like climate change that we're talking about today, constantly building our links with other investors, and our engagement with organisations like the UN Principles for Responsible Investment, UK Sustainable Investment and Finance, the Institutional Investors Group on climate change. So it's a process of constantly evolving and keeping up with good practice. Well, I think the highlight has been the adoption of our new climate change policy. This was a very significant piece of work. It was a couple of years in the making. It's really positioned us at the forefront of what investors are doing on climate change. Very comprehensive policy encompassing everything from divestment to engagement with companies and public policy. And I guess the other highlight was the shareholder resolutions at BP and Shell. This was us living out the climate change policy and engagement with companies. It's transformed the disclosure requirements at both companies. Really quite unprecedented for the boards of both companies to recommend a shareholder resolution to their investors, and for the shareholder resolutions to be passed with 98% support at the AGMs of the companies. Well, there are real opportunities in 2016. One of our challenges really is to continue the implementation of the climate change policy, because it is a demanding policy and it requires constant effort on our part to take it forward. So we're looking for low carbon investment opportunities. We've got plenty of work to do on engagement with the companies that we invest in, fossil fuel companies in particular. We're continuing the process of filing shareholder resolutions. We'll be engaging with governments and the international policy process post the international conference in Paris, which is approaching now. COP21 is hugely important. It's a massive event in climate change. A lot of thought has gone into how to make this a success. I think we need to be realistic that there are still huge challenges in getting so many governments to agree, but a lot's been learned from Copenhagen, and there are different pillars to the agreement that will be put together in Paris, we all hope, this year. So there's the pledges that governments have made to reduce their own emissions. Those are in now, those are in advance of the summit, and already the pledges amount to restricting warming to 2.7 degrees by the end of the century. Now that's not enough, but it's a long way forward from business as usual, which is warming of 4, 5 or even 6 degrees by the end of the century. And then non-state actors are really being mobilised into the process, including investors, which is why we've put so much effort into being part of the proactive investor voice in the run-up to the summit. It creates permission for politicians, it creates pressure and drive for companies to act on climate challenges as well. I'm on the pilgrimage because climate change matters to me personally. It matters to the church commissioners as investors. It's really a way of symbolising how we as church investors walk with the broader church on ethical issues. It's a way of living out our commitment on climate change. We recognise that climate change is a spiritual issue. This is what the Bishop of Salisbury conveys so well really in his comments on climate change. And a pilgrimage is a way of making a spiritual journey, of changing yourself and changing those around you. And this is what we need to do on climate change.